check this is recording. I tell you why. Yeah, it is. I tell you why. I've just filmed this and my battery died. I've had to go downstairs, get a new battery, come back up, film it again. So it's going to be a quick one because I've already filmed this once. This is the Educational Board Games Collab hosted by Kids Learning for Life. I knew it was hosted by Kids Learning for Life, but I still wrote it on my hand because I didn't want to get it wrong. Because I've got children, I'm harassed. There's going to be a playlist with other channels talking about educational board games. Some people call it game schooling, which I think is a bit of a new term. So I'm going to try and link the playlist in the description box or the comments if you want to see other people's videos. If you're new here, my name's Victoria. I'm a homeschool mum of 4. One on the way, and I do homeschool vlogs, gardening and family vlogs. So first off, not everyone I'm going to say is actually a board game. I'm trying to keep it to sit down games though, paper games you could call it. But all board games are educational, even if they're not obviously in your face educational. They are, because they're teaching you to concentrate, they're teaching you to sit down, not run around like a lunatic, they're teaching you to take turns, they're teaching you, it's character building, isn't it? Especially if you find it frustrating or you don't win. It's character building. There is a company called Orchard Toys, which is English, it's based in England, and they do lots of different educational games, like memory games and things like that for younger kids. We had the dominoes set off them, which wasn't numbers, it was pictures. Like you, instead of like having to match the 5 to the 5, you had to match like the fairy to the fairy and the dragon to the dragon, and they really enjoyed that. We had another one which was like animals, and if you got a sheep card you had to spin the dial and count the sheep, and if you got your animal asleep you put it on the animal awake until all your animals was asleep, things like that. But they do lots of different ones. That's Orchard Toys. I'm looking at the one on there, Orchard Toys. They do lots of different ones. But anyway, this is an obvious one, Monopoly. Character building again, so it can get frustrating, but it teaches you to handle money and things like that, and properties and all the rest of it, and remembering the rules and what happens when you go on that one and stuff like that. What else? Junior Scrabble. You can get proper Scrabble for older kids, but Junior Scrabble, we enjoy that. We have a game of it, but also my 2 oldest kids are 10 and 8. One of them is dyslexic, but this works for both of them. If I don't want to play the game, we'll just get the board out and the letter tiles, and I'll let them play around with it, make their own words, spelling, or I'll give them so many letters and say spell me something out of that, which is, you know, kind of the prefix of Scrabble anyway. Or say like, we'll do an easy one. Say like, I say spell cat, and they do it with the, that's an easy one, isn't it? But I'm just using an example. They just do it out the letter tiles, and I'll say change it to can, and they'll change it to can, and then I'll say change it to cannot, and they'll change it to cannot, so they can see how the different letters, the words merge into each other, and how different parts, letters, words are the same out of other words. And also, because one of my sons is dyslexic, if he gets it wrong, just say, no darling, it's this tile instead of this tile, and just switching them round. It seems to be a lot better for his confidence and me crossing something out and the mistakes there for everybody to see, if you know what I mean. So that's a good one, Junior Scrabble. This isn't a board game, but it's a sit down thing. Hangman. It doesn't sound very nice. But if you're not familiar with Hangman, say I think of a word like nice, so I'll write down 4 lines. The other person has to guess the letters, so it's good for you remembering your letters and things like that. And if the letter's right, I write it in space. If it's not right, I draw a line and you keep going until either the person's guessed all the letters or guessed what the word is, in which case they win, or they haven't guessed the word and they've run out of chances because you've drawn a hanged man. I know it doesn't sound very nice, but it is. So that's a good one. Noughts and crosses, again a paper game, not going to cost you anything. That's quite good for building, you know, strategic thinking and stuff like that. Jigsaws are really good, they're sit down ones. Card games, you can start off with easy things like Snap, building up to harder things like cribbage when they're older, which helps with numbers, maths, things like that. I tell you another good one, but it's not actually a board game. Darts. And I know this isn't even a sit down one either, I do apologise. Not for younger ones, for older ones, because obviously you've got your dartboard and then the 2 players, or more than that if you split into teams. You start off with 501 points. Every time you hit something with your dart, you subtract the amount from your score until the person with nothing is the person that wins. So that's quite good for maths. Plus, if they're older, they feel a bit cool that they can play darts. But obviously don't do that with smaller ones. We don't want like sharp-edged missiles being thrown around by younger kids. I'm trying to think what else I said. I'm all of a doodah because I had to go and change battery out of my camera. But I tell you something else. I tell you what's a really, really good one, and probably my top tip for educational board games. Let them make their own board game. You don't need expensive resources for it. You can use old bits of cardboard. You don't even need a dice. You can make a dice out of a bit of cardboard, make a cube, and then put the numbers on it. And either you can pick a topic for your board game, look into it a little bit first, which is educational obviously, or you can just let them do it however they want. You know, be creative, be arty, use their imagination, and that's really beneficial. And also when they've made it, you get to play with them. So that's probably my favourite one actually, just make your own board game. I know if you check out the playlist, there'll be people who've got all kinds of different board games, and I'll be thinking, oh, I fancy that one, I quite fancy the idea of that one. So people will come out with probably better things than me, because that's my we enjoy the ones I've said. I didn't want to say things we didn't enjoy or things we don't genuinely use. I wanted to say things that we actually use, we actually enjoy, and I do think that's my top tip about making your own, because then you can take it wherever you want. You can do whatever you want with it. What else? I tell you another one that we like, snakes and ladders, and you can buy a massive one that goes in the garden and all, which makes it more of a physical game. So say like you roll a 6, they have to, well, you could pick, couldn't you? They don't have to walk across five paces. You can jump or hop or something. But yeah, they're my favourite ones. I've said. I know I could have got them all out, showed you them all, but I just wanted to show you the ones that we use the most. And even though technically they're not all board games, they are educational games. So I'm going to go now and leave you with that. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you're not new here, have a look at the playlist if you fancy finding out what people have said. Oh, I've hurt my ankle just sat here. Anyway, I'll see you next time for a new video. Bye bye.